Greetings, pilots and passengers. Today I am going to be talking about the spiritual matrix. I did a tweet last week, I think it was on the 12th of November, about my thoughts on the spiritual matrix, or the matrix and what that is. Because I've seen some posts before on Twitter and videos on YouTube as well on the Matrix being seen as a very negative thing. We all associate it with the Matrix movie, which a lot of people believe we are in the Matrix. I know Elon Musk has even commented that the probability of us being in a Matrix of some kind is very high, and the theory works out.
Well, the argument for the simulation, I think, is quite strong, because if you assume any improvement at all over time, any improvement, 1%, 0.1%, just extend the time frame, make it 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. What would civilization, if you count it, if you're very generous, civilization is maybe 7 or 8,000 years old, if you count it from the first writing. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, games will be indistinguishable from reality. Therefore, we are most likely in a simulation.
I think quite a lot of people, not all, sort of believe along the lines that we're stuck in this matrix that is potentially controlled by some elites or some sort of group who want to enslave us, and that we are somewhere else in, you could argue we're in pods somewhere else. I have no idea how it works. But the matrix is sort of forcing us to believe that the world we're in right now, this physical world, is all that there is to life. We just go about living our daily lives, when in reality that is not the case. This is just all some kind of illusion, some kind of matrix. Now, I believe in a matrix, but I don't believe that it's negative or necessarily negative. I believe that the life experience, the human life experience, is a matrix in itself. What if we choose these experiences that we live for a reason? I believe that we have souls, that we have spirits, that we are some kind of energy that originates from an original energy source. You could say that this is universal consciousness, a place where we all come from, and eventually when we die we go back there. I agree with this line of thinking. I believe that as a soul, as a spirit, as an energy, we choose the human experiences that we live for a reason. So before we are born as a human, we decide ahead of time that this is a life we are going to live. The reason we choose this is to learn a lesson. I believe that the reason we are humans, the reason we live the way we do, the choices we make, is all part of a big lesson. And we all have different lessons. It's not like everyone's got this same lesson to learn. It's the things we do in our lives are personal lessons, but there is going to be an overarching lesson, the big thing that we need to learn. And this applies to both good and bad. So, someone who lives a life and kills someone, commits murder, there's a lesson there for them, versus someone who lives a very well-off life of being rich, has no worries whatsoever. There's a lesson there too. And once we've lived these lives, I believe that we die, and then our soul lives on and we return back to wherever we came from. But that's the thing, we return back and then we're given the choice again as to whether we want to live another life. And that's going into the whole belief in, if you believe we have past lives, and I believe that. And obviously we have future lives as well. So we are given the option of going down again or coming down again to live another human life. You're not limited by what life you live or who you are. The only thing with this is that I believe that in the spirit world there is no such thing as time. There is no linear time. So the way we live on earth right now is with hours, minutes, days. On the other side, none of that exists. So, and this is where it gets complicated, because it means that the lives we live, our future lives, past lives, and the present right now, it's all happening at the same time. So if that's the case, our spirit could be in many places at once. So it's on the other side, up there, so to speak, doing whatever we're doing there, whatever role we have, living this life, but also living many other lives at the same time. So there could be part of our soul living on earth as someone else as we speak. It's getting very confusing here, but that's what I believe and that's what I've learned. You have to wonder about these stories of people who are really talented at astral projection, the ability to leave your body, the places they've visited. So some people have, had contact with their spirit guides, conversations regarding the fact that there is no such thing as time really, but also these ideas that we don't just come down here, live a life, die, end of. The whole point is to learn. Whatever that lesson is, that's for us to figure out ourselves. I'd like to describe the spiritual matrix as like virtual reality for the soul. When you see like the Oculus virtual reality set and, PSVR, it's kind of like that. You put it on and you go into a different world and you are doing something else, you are being someone else, and it feels so real. That's what I think it's like. Our souls basically hop into some meaty body bags and walk around, because in a way bodies are like machines. They're not, bodies are magical, but they are machines the way they function. And in these human bodies we are somewhat limited to the spiritual nature of the world and who we really are. But I think part of learning is learning about spirit, and I'd like to think the whole lesson would be loving people, sharing love and light, being kind to one another. Because you look at the world and it, in essence, it is very selfish. It is very destructive and divisive, and there's a lot of people causing that. But the lesson for everyone here would be to love one another, to care for one another, and to support one another. And this is the thing that some people say, well, what is the benefit of us learning that? What is the reward for us learning it? There is no reward. The reward is learning. That is it. Knowledge. Knowledge is more important than materialistic things in the physical world, which is why we are in this spiritual matrix, which I think more people will hopefully become aware of, that there is so much more to life than being human, being able to physically touch things and these, limited senses that we have. There's other senses as well, spiritual. That's my thoughts on the spiritual matrix. I think it's more complicated than this. I just literally touched on the surface level of it. You could go on and on and on with this subject and dig really deep with it. I know that for certain. So anyways, I'd love to hear what you think about this idea of there being a matrix, a spiritual matrix, whether you agree or disagree with me, what your thoughts are on this. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think, because I really love reading your comments and it gets me thinking, and thank you so much. I'd like to add that if you'd like to support the channel, please subscribe to Dare to Fly Today to get ready to take flight. Turn on notifications so you get notified every time I upload a video. Like this video and share it with others. You can also support Dare to Fly via my Ko-fi page with a one-off donation which will buy me some rocket fuel, and you could also donate to my PayPal. I've had a lot of support recently, so thank you so much to everyone. I love you all. If you want to keep in touch with me on social media, you know by now I'm on Twitter at DareToFly777, so come and natter to me there. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Please stay safe, stay awake, and stay true to yourselves and to everyone else. Love you all so much, and as always, fly high, fear less.